Good evening, and welcome to another dogmatic episode of Diatribes. Now here's your dog-eared and dog-tired host, voice of Doom. Alright, I'm going to keep doing the diatribes because I have to, mark down and show the world my everyday experiences for no reason. Nobody watches it, but it's just for the sake of posterity. I'll tell you how my day went, because as you may well know, after the last couple of diatribes, I was reaching a point where I didn't know what to do about my job. And things going on in the macrocosm also. So I don't know whether to start with a macrocosm or a microcosm, but as far as the macrocosm goes, I knew that this assassination was going to be a big thing. And depending on how the news of the world goes, it's going to keep being a major point of contention amongst everybody. And I could come up with a few conspiracy theories having to do with the devil and Faustian deals. And I could come up with a scenario that would be worthy of Stephen King or Dean Koontz. And talk about certain people that have been granted great fame and somehow are advocating for the wrong side. Now, I don't know if it's right or wrong. If they're right, then I've been duped big time. Then everything I've seen with my eyes is wrong. And the lefty wokesters were right all along. And if it comes to that point, I'll admit it, but I'll be very depressed. Now, the latest thing with the Kirk assassination. First of all, we found out that his roommate was a male to female transgendered, and so blah 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 blah. Now, first of all, don't drag other people into it that don't need to be dragged into it. I don't believe this guy did it in the first place. So to bring in the satellites and the people on the periphery that maybe had no idea what was going on and vilify them and I don't care if they dress up in a bear costume and they want to be a girl. I don't care about that. They don't deserve to be vilified for life because they're associated with a major assassination. That couldn't cause nothing but trouble, and I don't like it. I don't like when people have to bring in all these peripheral issues and then make it like, well, here's why this guy did it, here's why this guy did it here. I don't believe he did it at all. So let's start with that premise. I just don't believe some idiot that is involved with a transgender roommate can put together a rifle on a roof, pull off one shot, kill somebody, take the rifle apart, jump off the roof 20 feet down, run away, and then put it together again and put it in a towel and wrap it in a box and stick it in the woods and then run away while changing clothes. So come on. We're not, it's past the time of falling for BS. And if people want to fall for it, then keep on falling. But I don't like any of that. Now, some of the most famous people and most talented people, and I'll admit it, that's why it really irritates me that the most talented people I've ever seen are lefty wokester idiots. It's really irritating. How many people on the right are famous to the point of ridiculousness? John Voight, Ted Nugent. Yeah, they've made millions of dollars, but they're not in the stratosphere of Tom Hanks and Stephen King and the Godfather guy, whatever his name is. I just think they're very talented, and how did they get their talent? How did they get their fame? Yes, they're very good. They did good movies. And did they make a deal with the devil, like Bob Dylan, in order to achieve worldwide fame, winning Oscar after Oscar after Oscar, writing books ad infinitum? It's almost impossible for a human being to write so many books that all sell millions of copies and be turned into bad movies, and just pile on the millions. Well, maybe you made a deal with the devil in order to advocate for his side. And that's when you say things like, Charlie Kirk was killed because of the hateful rhetoric of Orangey. That's their bottom line. We can talk about it all we want. We can use all kinds of sentences, but that's their major thesis. Is Orangey was the one that precipitates all violence everywhere in the world. Now, that can only come from an ideology where you aren't in control of your own faculties. Because I can't believe that Tom Hanks is so stupid that he would believe that the reason that all this is happening is because of Orangey's rhetoric, when all he's trying to do is solve wars. All he's trying to do is do economic things that will make the world fair with trade. All he's trying to do is get prices down by, having more domestic production, maybe getting the Fed to help him out a bit, which they won't. And these guys have a preternatural hatred for Orangey because of past lifetimes. I've told you before. It's not that hard to understand. They will never like him because something from a past experience, maybe on a different planet even, makes them go, I hate this guy. I never will like him. I don't care if he cures cancer. I don't care if he saves every puppy on the planet. I hate his guts. That's the way it's going to be. And that's the whole thing about the existential situation we have ourselves in, where we've reached this point where people are remembering their past. Instead of people just going on in the 50s and 60s, mother and daughter and son and whatever, and leave it to Beaver, and the man comes home from work, and the wife is there with all the food, and it's all an ideal society. They weren't thinking about their past lifetimes. They weren't thinking about being dogs. They weren't thinking of being transgendered. They might have had those feelings deep inside, but it wasn't in the mainstream. Okay. Suddenly people are waking up to who they were. They were wolves. They were dogs. They were cats. They were female. They were males. And now they are wanting to embrace a previous existence. That means that this existential world we're living in now is changing to the point where we better get ready for something. I'm sorry, but I seem to be the only one that knows that we've reached a point where you know, just realities, all the realities of all the lifetimes we ever lived are all melding together because we're coming to a tipping point. We're coming to a point where things are going to happen, and we're not ready for anything to happen because we've lived in a world of luxury. We live in a world of ease. Go to the grocery store, go to the gas station, come home, unload your groceries, watch TV, watch Netflix, watch whatever. Maybe you have a little extra money, go out to dinner, go to a movie. That's only been human beings' lifetimes for the last 50 or 60 years. Up till then, we've been struggling. Our offspring dies. We have to struggle through depressions. We have to struggle through droughts and struggle through, dust bowls, and struggle through cities being in turmoil because of gangs. And I'm going back to the 1800 gangs. So let's not talk about the fact that this gang business is new. People have been struggling. And it was only after World War II that the powers that be, the Dulleses, and to a certain extent the Trumans, Roosevelts, the I can't remember their name, Anslingers, all these guys got together and said the only way to perpetuate a strong economy is by making armaments and having wars. That's where we went wrong. It's very simple. But I just don't like this dragging in people that don't deserve to be dragged in. Unless this transgender person, can be proven to have been a conspirator, to know, yeah, I'm going to go off to Utah and I'm going to go shoot somebody, then just leave him or her or they alone, and don't make their life miserable for the rest of their lives because they're associated with this business. I don't like that. Now, microcosm, okay. This is why I feel bad about the universe, because I cause most of the trouble with my own behavior. I try to go and do the good thing, and I can't. I fail. So I'm going to have to be reborn in a new lifetime and try harder, because things were going well in my life, and then I started becoming somebody who couldn't do things right. So, okay, you failed this thing with this secret shopper, so now you have to be retrained for a day, and whatever. And okay, so I go in and I'm going to be retrained, and it's like I'm following, and he's just as cynical about the whole thing as I am, and he knows it's a joke, but all right, I'll follow you around and start and watch you do what I already know how to do. All well and good. I'm like, well, as long as I'm here, I don't have my own section, so I can just clean up the place and keep the place kind of organized. Well, no, that's no good. I got to follow this guy. That's what I'm told. Don't be getting more glasses. Don't be getting more ice so that the whole restaurant can run more efficiently, which any idiot could figure out how to do. And they don't do, because they're all Zers and millennials, and they don't know anything. So I figured, all right, make the best of this and just help out. And no, you can't do that. And I'm getting more and more irritated because I'm just following this guy around. I've already been trained. I already know what I'm doing, and it's just a big waste of time, and I don't like wasting time. So something happens where I kind of allude to the person that's training me, why didn't you do this? And they're like, well, I don't do that. It's not part of my routine, and I know we're supposed to do it. So I just go, well, I'm being trained by somebody who I do a better job than. I mean, not to disparage the guy, and he's good, and I like him. But he's not doing what we were told to do. And I do what we're told to do, and I get results from it. And then I'm told that I'm not good enough, and I have to follow this guy around. Now, I'm 66 years old. I'm being told by managers that weren't born when I started working in restaurants. I know how to deal with people, and I know what to say and what not to say. And if they want certain nuances and this or that, I'll go along with it. But when they say you got to be trained and follow this guy around and waste your time, I just took off my apron and I went up to the assistant manager and I said, do I give this to you or what? And they're like, well, you keep it. You always have. And it's like, no, I'm giving it to you. Like, I'm done. I'm out of here. So I had a talk with the managers, the assistant managers, who were all very sympathetic because the assistant managers all are. It's only the general manager that you have to worry about, and I won't say anything about him, but he doesn't seem to be that competent. Now, so I talked, and they're like, what's your schedule? And I said, I'm off for the next 2 days. And they said, why don't you just cool off for 2 days? They let me go home. I don't know what's going to become of that because I didn't do what I should have done. It's just humbly walk behind some guy and watch him do what I already know how to do. Totally waste of labor. And somehow I just couldn't do it because I'm a iconoclast, I am a nonconformist, and I just don't go along with the crowd. And I'm thinking to myself, even if they retrain me, I'm going to do what I do. I'm not going to change because I know what I'm doing is right. Because I know how to wait on people. And for some corporate entity to tell me to do it this way is like, you don't know anything. I don't care if you're a CEO. I was here before you. And that's not to say that there's not younger people that are brilliant, but when you have experience, you just use it. And you don't want to jeopardize that by following stupid rules that don't make sense. So they didn't let me quit, which I would have done in a heartbeat because I don't even like the place. And I told them I'm leaving in a month and a half anyway because I don't want to drive in the snow and I don't want to be in Reno when the shit hits the fan. I didn't tell them that, but my blood pressure is up. It's a lot of tension, it's a lot of anxiety, and my heart goes too fast, and I want to help people. I want to make sure their dinners are good, and when things start to go bad, I get stressed, and my heart starts to beat too fast, and I get chest pains. So it's like, I appreciate getting the job and making money, and I'm actually doing really good, but I can't take the stress. It's a young person's place, and it's not for me, and I can't work there. But the way things are right now, I can have the option of working there a few more weeks or just leaving. So we'll have to see what fate has in store for me. But it wasn't good. I should have done better. I should have just swallowed it. If I was true to my creed, I would just, all right, if you want me to follow this guy around and waste time, just be here for no reason at all, then so be it. That's your thing. But I couldn't do it. So I had a conniption fit, and I said I was quitting, and that was it. And the managers are trying to talk me into calming down and think about it for a couple of days. So I'll think about it for a couple of days, and we'll see what happens. And that's pretty much that. That's where it goes from here. I'm kind of mad at myself because when I start sabotaging myself, I pretty much go all out. I go to the casino and lose some money there just to make it worse. Then I go buy a couple cigars when I know I'm supposed to stop smoking, and do that because everything's so hopeless to me that I should just destroy myself. And I realize I have no willpower, and I'm I should try harder and not let things go from bad to worse, which is my want. So, don't have much more to say. I think I said it all, and it's too long anyway. Nobody's going to watch 20 minutes of this crap. It's almost 21 minutes. So, I'll leave it there. Maybe I'll do another one later. We'll see what happens. So, sorry to burden you with my life. Thanks. Bye.